Reddit is a toxic cesspool of censorship and mediocrity that provides no real benefit for being on there. With all the backwards decisions r/Spez has made over the past year, the site has become quite frustrating to use. And yet, even now, the very best of the site can reach levels of incredulity and impact that make it all worth it. They don't call it the front page of the internet for nothing. Alright, there are certainly diamonds in the rough. Unless you're too lazy, or you have a life or something. In which case, there's always YouTube. More specifically, Reddit Storytime YouTube. You've probably stumbled upon one of these Reddit Storytime channels. They tend to curate from mainstream subreddits like Ask Reddit or AITA or Relationship Advice, and then they just read the best posts on there. It's an incredibly easy to produce and digest form of content that rose to prominence in the late 2010s, and I've been watching these videos for nearly 5 years now, or more accurately listening to them, because it turns out they serve as pretty decent pseudo-podcasts for working. You see, you don't really need to see it. If you wanted to, you'd go to Reddit and read it yourself, but again, you're either too lazy, or too busy, or you're blind. So you'd rather just have someone read it for you. And as such, there really is no reason for these videos to have fancy editing that no one will see. Neither is there reason to come up with your own ideas, as the stories quite literally speak for themselves. And I mean literally, some channels don't even have a human reading them. They just have some text-to-speech bot do it for them, so they can spam upload a whole lot of them to a bunch of different channels.
My husband is giving me an ultimatum. Either we open up our marriage, or separate.
It's the first wave of these automated YouTube channels I remember seeing. If you dig deep enough, you'll find a whole bunch of channels like this that are eerily similar to each other, that have the same text-to-speech bot reading the same Ask Reddit posts as each other. It's all a massive content farm very obviously ran by the same person or people. And it shows. Nearly all the ones I remember seeing have the same outro animation that never plays properly, and they all have the same Lakey-inspired music and make no effort to cut out all the times the text-to-speech bot has a stroke. This is some of the laziest, low-tier, bottom-of-the-barrel content I've ever seen on YouTube, as well as on sites like TikTok and Instagram too. Alright, this shit is everywhere. It's to the point where it's considered a high bar to have an actual human reading the stories, let alone give their own input on things. But at that point, they may as well just be podcasts, because there's no reason to actually watch them. It's often just text on screen overlaid on top of unrelated stock footage, or in some case stolen gameplay. And anything more than that is more of a distraction than anything, as it forces you to actually watch the video, negating the convenience factor that made this kind of content so successful in the first place. And that sums up the bulk of Reddit content. Outside of some exceptions, it's nothing more than content farms of automated, listenable slop that are designed for people to mindlessly snack on while doing other things. Alright? Not much else to talk about. This is the part where I talk about rSlash.
Welcome to rSlash Entitled Parents, where psychopathic criminals break the law in the name of their precious children.
I wasn't planning on making this about rSlash. In fact, the video was supposed to stop here. But considering rSlash is easily the most successful Reddit YouTuber, and is the one who got me into Reddit content in the first place, I figured I'd at least mention him, make a little passionate hugging joke at some point. However, as I've looked back on the now 5 years worth of videos he's made, I found myself having a lot more to say about him than I ever expected. So, yeah, I guess this video is about rSlash now. And let me start by saying that he is one of my favorite YouTubers. He has a distinctive voice that brings this sort of energy to every story he reads. Right, to put it simply, he has the best Karen voice in the game.
Where's my daughter?
F you and your comic, grunt. Hello? 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 F you. F you. Kick my butt. I mean lick. Duck you. F your brother. F your father. Jerk. Grunt. 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 Sorry, didn't mean to blow up.
He managed to go way beyond the already high bar of reading the stories himself, and has developed a notably human personality that brings much needed soul to his videos. And it's even more impressive when you consider that he does daily uploads, and in the well over 1,000 episodes he's done, I don't think he's ever missed a day. And as such, neither have I. Out of all the Reddit channels I've discovered throughout the years, rSlash is the only one who has managed to remain one of my favorites this whole time. While the guy has covered a wide variety of subreddits, subreddits from entitled parents to pro-revenge to am I the butthole or asshole or a-hole or bad guy or a. Most of his content nowadays has really only been limited to the likes of malicious compliance and AITA, and occasionally best of Redditor updates, or true off my chest. And he hasn't really covered subs like entitled parents all that much recently. Most likely because that sub in particular has been ruined by a flood of fabricated stories brought on by people trying to get fed by rSlash, resulting in a subreddit that's downright frustrating to browse. There have also been many concerns and accusations of content theft where rSlash is essentially profiting other people's stories. And while I personally disagree with these concerns, I do see where people are coming from. And it doesn't help that rSlash is the only Reddit YouTuber I know of that takes sponsorships, including disgraced pseudotherapy provider BetterHelp. In 2024. I understand wanting to chase the bag and all, but how do you not do a little bit of vetting to find BetterHelp's well-documented past? As for the content itself, it hasn't really changed much throughout the years. He did stop swearing, going as far as to change the name of a certain subreddit multiple times, trying to get around YouTube's bullshit community guidelines, and he quickly stopped using the meme music in favor of some generic Kevin MacLeod song, because Nintendo doesn't play around with that kind of stuff. He also started covering more parenting-focused stories on account of him becoming a dad himself. But besides that, and a new mic at some point, the formula hasn't really changed since the beginning. For better or for worse. It's still the same intros and outros, same voices, same galaxy background, same Kevin MacLeod song, same butthole rating system, just 5 years later. And it's getting kinda stale of him, to be honest. rSlash has become, in a word, safe, at the cost of the soul of his older, less safe videos. And yeah, as much as I still enjoy his content and respect his grind, I do think that his old content was better. Not just because he used to cuss, but also because it just isn't as fun now.
Welcome to rSlash Today I F'd Up, where people make terrible mistakes and post them on the internet so we can laugh at them.
Welcome to rSlash Nuclear Revenge, where OP watches her abuser slowly die in front of her eyes.
There's just this wholesome energy about his old videos that has been kind of lost in translation. And now it's just stories of assholes being assholes and people not communicating to each other like adults. And the man has also had some rather bizarre takes as of late that have given me pause. While I appreciate him giving his own takes and not just parroting what Reddit says, and he has made efforts to clear his head when he's been particularly off, it still makes me question whether or not the guy's become a bit jaded. And I mean, who wouldn't? 5 years of reading Reddit stories every single day is bound to drive you nuts. It's very hard to tell the difference from day to day, but compare one of his pre-pandemic videos to one from, God, even a fucking year ago, let alone today, and you'll see just how much fun the guy used to have. What happened to the puppy bloopers? But it's whatever, alright? Expecting any YouTuber to be great forever is unrealistic. And for the most part, rSlash is still enjoyable to this day, and the issues I've outlined aren't that big a deal. And I don't think rSlash actively harms Reddit YouTube so much as he reflects broader changes to Reddit YouTube. If anything, I'd much rather the most successful YouTuber in the genre be someone like rSlash rather than any of the content farms. And he's not even the only one who puts actual effort into his videos. Mock Narrations is a lad who makes videos on relationship stories and AITA posts, where he covers the comments, edits, updates, and even gives his own takes on things. He uploads multiple videos a day, each being 20 minutes or more, and he often gets to popular posts weeks before rSlash ever does. Ilura's, the red panda guy, covers a huge variety of subreddits, from I am a total piece of shit to morbid reality to cringetopia, the kind of subreddits I haven't really seen anyone else cover, let alone nearly as well. And on the horror side of things, Dr. Creepin is my personal favorite horror narrator on YouTube. His voice is deep and captivating and really accentuates the horror in whatever he reads. Even though he doesn't always read from Reddit, I still feel like he does even the shittiest of horror stories from rSlash No Sleep justice. I mean, the guy even makes his own music to go with it, which is something that really takes the haunting atmosphere to another level. And all these guys are still active today, if not past their prime a little bit. And they are proof that there is still room for Reddit content to thrive, in spite of the robot army.